Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 317. Good Texas non-freezing morning. It's like 47 degrees outside right now, I think. But it felt nice a few minutes ago. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Yeah, it is nice out there. Better than 12 degrees. But thank you all very much for tuning in today. As we get started with this morning, par for the course, breaking news all over the place before we came on air. So I had to handwrite notes into my outline. Here's my outline. Here's my notes. But thank you all very much for giving me a chance to talk to y'all for a little bit this morning. Let me refresh this page because I like to make sure I am on. There we go. It looks a lot better. All right. So before we get started, if you are watching this and you are not yet a follower of the JP8 Report, please click that follow button. And then right next to it, that thumbs up button, that's our like button. Give me a thumbs up. And if you look on the right-hand side of your page, there's that live chat. Please engage me with the chat, and then I will respond either verbally or I'll type out something real quick. I can multitask sometimes. I'm not totally out there, but I can do it. And then if you get a chance, share. And then every now and then I get to read an ad read here on Rumble, and I talk about the Rumble Wallet. The Rumble Wallet is a chance you can be able to. It says tip on the screen where you can actually tip your like guys like me are the podcasters out there. Instead of going through Rumble, you can actually tip us directly through the Rumble Wallet. All right. So today, let's see, we'll do those headlines after I do the America 250 point. All right, so we'll go with America 250 real quick, and then work our way into the headlines and stuff for the day. All right, so this is the letter from William Watson, General Washington, without the coughing. Sir, I must ask your Excellency's pardon for omitting in my last some very material circumstances relative to the capture of Commodore Manley's last prizes. I read a letter yesterday about Commodore Manley. Okay, I had not, when I wrote, got the exact amount of the matter since which the Commodore tells me that he had taken the prizes and had put his people on board them sometime before the tender came to their assistance, that there were two other vessels from Nova Scotia with stock in company with these ships, and that the whole fleet with the tender would have been taken had it not been for the cowardice of one of our continental armed vessels, whom was very near to them but dared not engage, and who made the best of his way off. Commodore Manley fought in a very disadvantageous circumstances, not having much more than 16 of his own people on board, but then he received considerable assistance from his prisoners, who particularly from the captains who did as much as they dared do in such circumstances. Your Excellency will please to direct me in what manner I shall conduct with these captains relative to which they brought with themselves on their own account, memorandum of which is enclosed. If these people are indulged to return to Plymouth to take care of their effects, provided their private adventures are given them, it will be a disadvantage to the public. However, Your Excellency will much oblige our people, particularly the people belonging to the armed vessels. If you permit the bases and checks to be stopped here, as they greatly wanted to make them shirts. Commodore Manley is now in our harbor and has been puzzled with the ice, which we are now blocked up, but now receive no damage. The Harrison Captain Dyer is now in the ice and has lost an anchor and the cable, but we now find them again. We are now cutting the ice in hope to get him out without further damage. I shall do everything in my power to forward getting these vessels to sea, as a large number of ships from England are expected with provisions, but one of them is of any force. Captain Morton of the artillery, and bear this, takes charge of the prisoners. I am most respectfully, Your Excellency, most obedient, much obliged, very humble servant, William Watson. And then Tuesday morning, January 30th, which is tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, the Hancock Manley and Yankee Barnes, now under sail, bound on a cruise. So they were able to get them out of the ice. So the letter of commendation for Commodore Manley continues. I swear, if we had the Silver Star and the Navy Cross, because he was in the Continental Navy, or the Medal of Honor existed back then, this guy might have been in line to receive it for what he did with 16 sailors that fought off the British. That was impressive. All right. How'd y'all like that one? That was pretty good. Between Commodore Manley and this, that was good. Someone have a comment on there. Leave a comment for us. All right. And we're going to walk right on into the Dalmatian Burger Group. These guys are open today. They're open for lunch from 11 to 2, and then from 5:30 to 7. They make smash burgers and dogs right here in Copper's Cove. They're what do you call it? All their ingredients are homemade and fresh, right? I like the armadillo burger you see in the upper left hand of the screen. The prices are really, really good. They were only closed like for one sitting for because of all the ice and stuff. They were closed for the whole long weekend, so that was good for them. All right, so give them a try. They're located on the west side of Copper's Cove behind Bush's Chicken. All right, so remember, if you're in the Gatesville, Killeen, Copper's Cove, Lampasas area, you want a good burger, get over there on the west side of the Cove, see the Dalmatian. All right, so meanwhile, back at the ranch. Let me get stuff set up here. Okay, so those headlines. Let's see. Don't forget to like and follow the page also, please. All right, and then chat with me. So this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, Tom Homan has got a press conference. He's going to be doing from Minneapolis. I don't know what it's about, but he's going to be giving a briefing about what's with ICE, what's happening with ICE and Minneapolis Police and Minnesota State Police, right? So we'll see. And I do have an article in there about Frey and his trying to fry himself, let's put it like that. At 11 a.m. Eastern, the president, Donald J. Trump, is giving his 10th presidential cabinet meeting. So hopefully I'll have some headlines to bring to you from that meeting, because you know the president's going to speak first, and then the cabinet is going to do the walk around on the table and stuff. So I don't know how many press conferences President Otto had, but President Trump has looked like he's, let's see, this is his technically his 13th month or beginning of his 13th month in office, and he's had 10 cabinet meetings. Not bad at all. And then Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. All this news keeps coming out of Minnesota, and they're from, remember the news I brought the other day about the reapportionment in 2032. It looks like Minnesota's going to lose another congressional seat. But she declared at 6 o'clock this morning Central Time that she is now a candidate for the governorship in Minnesota, which means if she is elected, Minnesota would have 2 brand new U.S. senators in the Senate, because they got an election replacing it's an open seat right now, and then she would have to give up her Senate seat if she got elected. If big I big F, if she got elected to the governorship, right? Anyone watching, either by chat or comment, thinks she has a chance of getting elected to be governor, let me know. All right. I think she has a better than average chance, but you never really can tell. I think I recall Mike Lindell is still running for governor. I don't think anyone else has already declared yet at all. But they need to be doing so soon, because I think their filing season is coming up. Give me a second. What time we got? We got 6:42. Okay, I'm not going to verbally do this. When is the filing season for Governor of Minnesota? Let's see. So the filing period for governor, lieutenant governor begins May 19th and closes June 2nd. Oh, they don't waste no time there. Okay, so they got a few months before the actual filing season begins for that office. So let's see, it's January, so February, March, April. So there's 4 months before she can even file the official paperwork. If it's anything like in Texas, she announced, and then that means she has to have a treasurer on record, but she already does because she's a U.S. senator. But I guess she needs to file a new one for her office she's going to be running for. And then May 19th, do the formal paperwork. All right. So let's get to the rest of the news before we run out of time here, which I think we are. President Trump warns Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, because he's about to get fried, that he's playing with fire after immigration enforcement conversation. President Trump asserted that Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is playing with fire, issuing the warning in a Truth Social post on Wednesday morning. And surprisingly, Mayor Jacob Frey just stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. This is after having a very good conversation with them, the president said in the post. Could someone in his inner sanctum please explain that this statement is a very serious violation of the law and that he is playing with fire, Trump warned. Frey responded to the president's comments. Sometimes it's better. The better part of valor is to be quiet, right? The job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration laws. I want them preventing homicides, not hunting down a working dad who contributes to Minneapolis and is from Ecuador. I'm going to take apart that statement in just a minute. It's similar to the policy your guy Rudy had in New York City. Everyone should feel safe dialing 911. the mayor asserted on a post on X, making apparent reference to former New York City Mayor Giuliani. The president issued a warning on Wednesday after Frey, who met with Trump's border czar Tom Homan on Tuesday, declared in a post on X that the city would not enforce immigration law. Well, the president isn't telling him to enforce federal immigration law. Federal immigration law is enforced by the Immigration Customs Enforcement Division of the Department of Homeland Security. What the president is trying to tell him to do is have his police chief do the job that they're supposed to do and protect the people around them. And you got people out there not just protesting. Protesting is a right under the First Amendment. But these people are actually rioting. You don't call them agitators. They're not protesters. These guys are paid to destroy, to interdict and destroy. They're insurrectionists. And he's allowing them to do it. They have to actually enforce the laws of the books and keep the peace in their city. You don't see stuff like this going on in the South. He just blatantly wants to stick it to the president and at the